Welcome to the show where we talk all things weightlifting. I'm your host, Seb aka the voice of the people, and this is the Weightlifting House podcast. Hello and welcome back to the Weightlifting House podcast with your host, Seb the voice of the people, joined by the head of product, the weightlifting pundit. It's Nick Grew. Nick, we're back on the podcast again.
We're back, baby.
We're back. So for those of you who don't follow the Weightlifting House newsletter, you probably had no idea that the podcast was coming back. But after a few months of not really doing it a whole lot, well, more than a few months. Yeah, maybe.
That's generous.
Yeah, maybe the best part of a year. We've had enough messages from people coming in just saying, we need the podcast back. We need that Monday morning drive to work weightlifting fix. And so we've decided, it's time. We're going to do it. And we're going to cover a whole load of really interesting topics. Probably a little bit more on the sporting side of things, you know, the top athletes, predictions, all that sort of stuff, rather than how many sets of 3 to 7 reps should I do to improve my pull. Like the podcast used to be a lot more that sort of focus, but we're going to keep it a little bit more sporting.
Yeah, sounds good.
So today we want to talk about the winners and losers of the new weight classes. So I think what we'll do is I'm going to run through what the current weight classes are, what the new ones are going to be, and they changed this month, by the way, and if you've been living under a rock, you might not even know that they're changing again. The last time they changed was 2018. And then we're going to talk about, basically we're going to stick to the Olympic categories because it becomes a little bit too complicated to try and talk about all the categories. Before we start, I have one small favor to ask, and no, it's not to rate the podcast, though that genuinely does help. It's to tell your teammates, your fellow weightlifters, about the podcast. That way you can actually have some decent chats with them during training because they're going to know as much as you. Or maybe perhaps you actually don't want them to know. You want to be the only one with the good info. I don't know. But no, please do tell your teammates, and of course do make sure to give the podcast a quick 5-star rating if you have a spare second. On to the show. So the way it's worked is that currently there are 10 women and 10 men's classes. That's now moving to 8 women's and 8 men's. There's a reason why this has happened. The sort of the short and skinny of it is that I just said short and skinny. Yeah. The short and skinny of it, the thick and jacked of it is that the IWF wanted there to be 8 Olympic categories because there's currently 5, and they thought if we create 8 categories, then the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, will have no chance but to take all 8. So they did that, and then the Olympics said no, we still just want 5, and so now we're forced to get 5 Olympic classes out of 8 rather than 5 out of 10, which makes things a little bit silly, but that's how it is. So a quick refresh, and then we're going to go through which athletes have lucked out seriously, because some athletes have just done incredibly well with the changes, and some are in a pretty bad spot. So the old women's categories, 45, 49, 55, 59, 64, 71, 76, 81, 87, 87 plus, have been switched out for, and you might remember some of these categories if you've been weightlifting long enough, 48, 53, 58, 63, 69, 77, 86, 86 plus. Our assumption is the Olympic categories, the old ones, 49, 59, 71, 81, super, are now going to be 53, 63, 77, 86, 86 plus. Then on the men's side, so the current/old are 55, 61, 67, 73, 81, 89, 96, 102, 109, 109 plus. The new ones, 60, so we're starting quite heavy here, 60, 65, 71, 79, 88, 94, 110, 110 plus. The Olympic categories then have gone from 61, 73, 89, 102, 109 plus, all the way to, or technically 102 plus, to 65, 79, 94, 110, 110 plus. And the elephant in the room, and I'm not talking about Vrausdalalian, is the fact that we have a jump from 94 to 110 in the men's categories, which 16 kilo jump, Nick, it's pretty big.
Some of these jumps are massive, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. I mean, we've actually done, we did a little quick look at the percentage of body weight that these athletes would need to add on to move to their sort of closest new Olympic category. The biggest jump is if you're currently a 71 kilo woman and you want to go up to the 77s, because I assume if you're a 71, you'd rather gain 6 kilos rather than lose 8.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to come up to 77. That's an 8.4% increase in body weight. And no one's really getting away with it. I mean, the closest you've got is 5.6, and that's if you're an 89 going up to 94 on the men's side. So it's a tough one. Yeah,
I think with the 71s, it's a big jump, but they're sort of all in it together going up. Because there's not many that will go down.
No.
And there's also not many 81s who will come down to a 77.
Mm-hmm.
And 76s weren't very competitive because it was a non-Olympic class. So yeah, it's sort of, they're all in it together, bumping up those 6 kilos.
Yeah, I completely agree. 71 to 76 sounds brutal, and it is, but like you're saying, because they're all having to do it, basically no 71s will go down to 63, or very few. Maybe like Julia Miserindino has hinted that she might, because she clocked in at 64, so did
Sarah Davies.
David Davies. But the tops, obviously they're top 71s, but the top, I'm talking Olivia Reeves, Songkuk Kang, Lau Gui Fang, they're going to have to go up. And if you're an 81 currently, you're mad to go down to 77 because all the 71s are coming up. You might as well go 86.
I think the only 81 I could see going down is Sarah Ahmed.
Yep.
She's very short and has been
a 76
before, so it would make sense for her to go down.
Although even in that situation, she can go down and then she's not going to be a medalist anymore.
She's less competitive, yeah.
Or she goes up and she can, be a silver or a bronze medalist potentially. So what we think we're going to do then is we're going to go through which categories or which even group of people within a single category is a loser, and which classes have done well. So let's start with losers. Let's start with losers on the men's side.
Okay.
I think that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
So a quick reminder, the new Olympic men's categories, 65, 79, 94, 110, 110 plus. So just before we even say any names, I mean, just looking at it, 65 being the first one, basically, my assumption is all the 61s who are good will go up to 65.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, if there's one person in my head who is very good, who has been a 55 before, and at 65 he's going to be pretty round.
Yeah.
Is Anik.
Yeah, the Malaysian.
But it's a tough one because he's obviously going to want to go to the Olympics. So he's just going to have to go up.
Yeah, he kind of has to do it.
So that's a big loser, being a small 61 and being someone who compete for an Olympic slot. That's a big loser there.
Yeah. But I will say, not to jump ahead to the winners, but I also think if you're a tall 61, you're a winner because 73s can't go down to 65.
And you're just getting a better advantage over the smaller 61s.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and then we've got the jump from 65 to 79 is insane. I mean, a 14 kilo jump for an Olympic category there. Realistically, all the 73s, I'm talking the Rahmats, Rizkis, Ritva, Suharevs, Miyamoto, I can't even name them all. All those incredible 73s, Wirafon, Wachuma, they're going to have to go to 79, which is sort of okay, except there are some good 81s who we'll talk about who have lucked out. Then, of course, 79 to 94, again, a huge jump, considering that most men in weightlifting weigh around that sort of low to mid 80s. So the fact that we're jumping all the way, we don't even have an 80 kilo anything category at the Olympics. Jumping to 94, I mean, if you're an 89, it's the least body weight change of any category, 89 to 94. Yes, if you were a short, slightly chubby 89.
Karapetian.
I mean, Karapetian used to be a 77 before your time in the sport. I don't know if you even remember that. Probably not. I mean, Karapetyan should not go up to 94.
I mean, these Armenians are just going to go, well, I'm going up.
Yeah, the Armenians are definitely one of those countries that won't even consider the fact that they could lose weight and go down. I think the last time an Armenian went down was when Simon Martirosyan went from 130 kilos back down to 109, which is about where he should have been anyway. I mean, look, why did he ever even go up to super when they had so many supers? I don't even know. That's such an odd move from him. So yeah, 94 is reasonable, and then 110 and 110 plus. I mean, it's basically if you were a 102, particularly taller, or you're a 109, you're now a 110.
Yep. And it's not too bad for some of those tall 102s to go up to 110. It's very good for some of them.
Yeah.
Not so good for some of the smaller 102s.
Yeah, and that's a good place to kick us off with. The first sort of loser is if you're a short 102.
Yeah.
AKA Olympic champion Liu Huanhua, aka Giga Chad from China.
Who came all the way up from
89.
Yeah.
89 in Colombia. Took a bronze.
Yeah.
In total or just clean and jerk?
He might have done better in the clean and jerk, actually, than bronze.
I think he hit 215. I think he got silver behind Carlos. And I think he definitely medaled in total at 89. So, yeah, you've got Liu Huanhua is kind of screwed, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not screwed, but
no,
I mean,
he's
just already thick and he's got some body fat on him. And now he has to, he's also made the decision. He's going to go up to 110.
Yeah, I think there's two parts of it where he already said that he didn't like going up to 102 from 89.
Yeah.
So it's like a personal preference there. And then some of his main competitors are going to be better at 110 than they were at 102 compared to him going up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's sort of two parts to it, isn't there? And mainly I'm thinking Akbar.
Yeah, mainly Akbar.
Who, the 110 is sort of a perfect category for him.
Perfect for Akbar. Yeah, 102. Yeah, I mean, when they competed at 102, they were in Liu Huanhua's sort of wheelhouse to some degree. Akbar didn't like it down there, and so going up to 110, it fits into Akbar's back pocket, really, if that's the same.
Akbar's a big guy, isn't he?
Akbar's huge. He's tall and he's thick, and he's always the leanest 102. He's normally the leanest 109. So, like, he has so much muscle mass that he can have at 110, whereas there's no way, even over a quad, Liu Huanhua is going to stay leanish going up to 110. It's just not possible. Other short 102s, I'm thinking like Chempo Zhen. Is he a 102 sometimes? Taipei.
Yes, he is.
Absolutely no chance.
Yeah.
He should go down. I mean, he was a 96. He should go down to 94.
Miso?
That's a great one. If I was Miso, I would do 94.
I mean, he was incredible at 96 for Tokyo, wasn't he? So
yeah, he looked great in 2019, 2020, 2021. He's a little bit fluffy.
Yeah.
At 102, I think it's reasonable to say. The only problem is you tend to see weightlifters towards I know he's still young, but he's been doing it a long time, like the end side of their career, especially when life's gotten a bit too good for them. You know what I mean? Like Miso is, he's famous in
extremely well off now in Qatar,
Yeah, he's got a lot of money. He's got a lot of houses. Does he want to get uncomfortable again? Every time I talk to him, I can never quite. It's like he's saying to me that he wants the fight and he wants the
says he wants to be the best ever, doesn't he?
Yeah, he wants to struggle. He wants to get into it, but
then he only trains for
6 weeks. Yeah, turns up to a competition, snatches 173
medals, gets a bronze or a silver.
And it's just. I mean, he lost to Antropov.
Yeah.
At Worlds, so if you're a short 102, we think that is.
I mean, speaking of short 102s, Antropov is quite short.
Yeah, but he has been a 109, hasn't he?
Do you think this 110 is okay for him?
We're going to see a good clean and jerk.
Yeah.
I'll put it like that. It's good for the fans in the clean and jerk. I don't know about snatch.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be interesting.
Because the snatch isn't held back because he's like too weak or something.
No, it's definitely not.
It's not like if he gets any bigger, he's going to snatch more. Yeah. I don't think. I mean, maybe a few kilos, but he's going to struggle more there.
Yeah.
So if you're a short 102, you're gonna struggle there. the next set of losers we've put kind of next to this group are these 73s.
I think there's two that are very big losers, being Rahmat and Rizki, because it just doesn't give them the opportunity to split out as they might have wanted to have done.
Absolutely. They just have no chance. They're 73s, then they've got to pick between 65 and 79.
They're way too tall to go to 65.
Yeah, impossible. Neither of them could do it. 79 is actually it's a good place for them both.
Yeah.
You know, Rahmat, when he hit that 2:14 attempt and he hit the 2:09 world record, he weighed 78.
Yeah.
Rizki's always the tallest, skinniest 73. Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to be forced to see some incredible battles at 79, especially because they're going to be reaching some of the other top 81s who we'll get to, who have definitely lucked out here.
Yeah. Do you want to speak about what Rizki just posted on Instagram on his story?
Yeah. So I'm sat there. I don't know what I was doing, some sort of work. Then Nick says, "Did you see Rizki?" So I went on his story, and it's a screenshot of a 100. Blocks are set up, so he's clearly block snatching, and he's got 180 kilos above his head, which is ridiculous block snatch for a 81. And so I just messaged him straight away, and I said, "What on earth?" or something to that effect. And he said, "Haha, yeah, just kidding," or something like that.
Yeah,
I said,
joking.
Just joking. That's what he said. And it's worth remembering he said joking because the translation's important here. And I said, "Oh, so you didn't do it. It was a snatch balance." And he said, "No, snatch balance is tomorrow. This is block snatch." I said, "Oh, so you did do it?" And he said, "Yeah, haha." And he said he was joking because, like, to him, the block snatch is joking around. But yeah, he did just block snatch 180.
And he said he's maxing out his snatch balance tomorrow, right?
Yeah, snatch balance tomorrow. So, okay, here's a question for you. Who's going to do it between them? And I'm not even, I absolutely would not at this point be willing to put any money that an Indonesian's going to win another Olympic Games. No. It's too risky right now. But between the two of them, who would get the spot at 79? I still
feel like Rahmat has got a bigger ceiling in both the lifts, particularly the clean and jerk. And I feel like he had his worst ever day.
Yeah.
When Rizki had his best ever day. So I would say
Rizki didn't even win Asians.
Yeah.
Rahmat set a world record.
Yeah. I'd say Rahmat, I think.
I think Rizki could do pretty well in the snatch at 79. I think we could see him get sort of 168, 169.
Maybe more, yeah.
But then like 205, I think he'll sort of tap out.
It's going to become a very exciting category, actually.
It'll probably be the best.
Yeah, I mean, the 73s was very good last time, but now you're chucking in a few more names.
Chuck in Ri Song Chong, chuck in Oscar Martinez.
Yeah, Yeah.
You know what I mean. Yeah. But like chucking the two before that, and that's a good category. So yeah, we reckon those are sort of the losers there. Should we do losers on the women's side, and then we'll go then we'll do winners, and then we're going to pick our absolute top winners and losers by athlete. We're going to take a quick ad break, and then we'll be right back with more weightlifting. Weightlifting House accessories are chosen by world record holders, Olympic champions, and lifters like you. Our belts, knee sleeves, wrist straps, and straps are designed to handle intense training and perform at the absolute highest level. Right now, we're offering 3 for 2 on all accessories at weightliftinghouse.com. Pick up a belt, knee sleeves, or any combination you choose and get one item for free. Chosen by champions like Carlos Cesar, Rahmat Owen Abdullah, and Yenny Alvarez, Weightlifting House is worn by the best. Head to weightliftinghouse.com or click the link in the description to start training like the pros and walk away with a free accessory. That's weightliftinghouse.com. Welcome back to the Weightlifting House podcast. Okay, so my opinion is that if you're a short 49, you're
in trouble, aren't you?
You're in trouble. You've been, what do they call it? Hung, drawn, and quartered.
I see that somewhere. Yeah.
Because it used to be that if you were 48, you could compete at the Olympics. Then it went to 49, and it's only a kilo, and it's a 2% of body weight for those women. But now the fact that you have to be as heavy as 53 I mean, you could technically weigh less, but, it's the 53 kilo class, which means that the 55s are going to come down. And don't forget, there are some good 55s because even though it was non-Olympic, there was, what's her name? The North Korean, who was a world record holder, 104, 131. So you've got these incredible 55s and some taller 49s going up. So if you're a short 49 currently, I'm thinking the short queen, Ri Song-gum, world record holder, strongest 49 in the world, number one female weightlifter in the world by Sinclair. I think she's been hung, drawn, and quartered.
Yep. You've got other lifters from...
She's going to be so round.
Yeah.
She already is. I mean,
she's extremely short, isn't she?
Yeah. One blow of wind and she's rolling away. She is, I mean, she's remarkably short. She's probably 4'7".
Yeah. Oh.
Right? She's so short.
Maybe a bit taller.
And she's four.
The other issue for her is that there's just another North Korean who's going to be in the same category.
Yeah. What's her name? The 55. Let me just grab it.
Kang, I think you've got written down here.
Yeah, Kang Hyung-kyung, who owns the world records. Yeah, 104 in the snatch and 131. So Ri Song-gum's best lifts are, she hit 98, I think, in the snatch, and then 125. So can she, going up by 4 kilos, bearing in mind Kang Hyung-kyung's got to come down by 2 kilos.
Yeah.
125 versus 131 clean and jerk. I'm actually going to give that to Ri Song-gum.
I think they're kind of going to meet in the...
I'm going to go slightly to Ri Song-gum, and then in the snatch, Ri's going to go over 100, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You know what? I think Ri Song-gum could still beat her, but and probably maybe what North Korea will do is they'll just move Kang up.
Possibly.
To, 58? Something like that, maybe.
How do you think this affects the Chinese 49s?
I mean, that new 49 who did amazingly at Worlds but then terribly at the Asian Champs, I guess she was just not in great shape. Maybe she was injured. She's going to go to 53, but I'm just trying to think who's even going to come down because China doesn't have a 55. The last 55 they had was Lao Chi-yun, and that was back in Tokyo, and she lost to Heidelin Diaz. So China's not got a 55. They've got good 59s. So I guess they're going to have to send someone up. I mean, I want to see Hu Jihui or Zhang Huihua from the last couple quads. One of them's going to have to come back. And then their incredible 45 who's been smashing it.
Yeah.
Put her at 48. And then put her at 48, take your 3 49s up to 53 and let them battle it out. And that's going to force greatness between... One of them's going to come away with something big. And then the other set of losers, I think we're going to have to say 71s. And we've touched on this slightly. Because it's just a crazy spread. I mean, if you want to go down, you've got to go from 71 to 63. Now, there were some old 64s who decided to go up.
Yeah.
And they're happy. They'll come back down. No problems, no questions asked. But 71 to 77, it's just a big jump.
Yeah. You're asking a lot of the athletes, aren't you?
Especially if you're short. I mean, what do you say to... let me give you some names, if I can even think of names. What do you say to... Or about... Taipei...
Chen Wenhui,
yeah. She has to... She was 76.
She was a 64 before.
She was 76 at Asians.
Was she properly 76 or...
Probably not, but like...
She was good at 64.
She was good at 64. She could go all the way back down.
She maybe goes back down.
Have a full body recomp. Because 77 is massive.
I think she goes down.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you who's going to be fine. Angie de Homes. She was very lean.
Yes. Yeah, she'll be fine.
I think she'll be all right. Olivia Reeves, who was actually relatively short 71, she basically told us that she would go to 69 for the Pan Am Champs.
And then go up?
And then just go up, yeah. She wants to go up and compete at 77 for the Olympics. but I think she'll go down to 69, probably take a stab at the world records.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody really going to push her too hard at the Pan Am level, except for Angie But no, there are some really good 69s actually this month or next month that she'll compete against. But I think that the sad thing is, well, it's good for us, but Olivia, Song Kuk-yang, and Lao Guifang, they can't separate out.
No.
It's just going to be the three of them just savaging each other for another quad.
You'd love to see it, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to see it. I mean, I'm excited to see what they do. Predictions on what the top lifts would be in that category at 77 on the women's?
I think you're going to get... So what's the world record on snatch at the moment? 120, 71s.
21.
21. You're going to get... I mean, Olivia looks like she could snatch. I think you can get 26.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at mid-50s.
Yeah, I mean, it's already, 154, I think. So currently the 71 records, let me pull up the women's here. 122, of course, because Yang Quijia hit it at the World Champs, didn't she?
Oh, yeah.
122, 155. Oh, yeah, because Song Kuk-yang also just hit it at Asian Champs. 122, 155. And then the current 76 records are 125, 156.
I mean, they'll all both go, yeah.
So it's going to be...
Is anyone going to touch 160?
Someone's going to touch it. Someone's going to load it. Yeah, someone's loading 160. Olivia told me when I was out there in America in February, she said she wants... I don't remember what the snatch was. I think she felt...
25 or...
She was nervous to say 130. Neither her or Steve said it.
Right.
They both said, 125. And it was like, well, of course, 125. But they both said 160. So someone's touching 60.
Wow.
That's going to be fun. I mean, they could get close to outlifting Salford at 86 in that category.
I mean, but talking not to rush on to the winners, but
Salford's a winner.
That's a bloody perfect class for her, isn't it?
Yeah, Salford has gotten not lucky because she is Olympic champion, but if the last quad was good, this quad's better.
Yeah, I mean the last quad it wasn't a good category for her.
No,
maybe it is.
She was lean.
Yeah, she's due a bit of luck in terms of the categories. And
she had to go down against some pretty strong. I mean, Sarah Ahmed was in great shape at the Olympics.
She scared off the Chinese.
She did. She scared off the Chinese. Well, that's another thing. What's Lang Xiaomei going to do? We haven't seen her in, over a year now.
Yeah.
We haven't seen her. And she was a world record holder in the 81s. She was pretty thick as well. She looked like if she had to cut down a couple kilos, she could have done.
Yeah, definitely.
Going up will be interesting, but she was very strong. I think if we can see her come back and start pushing Salford, that's going to be amazing. But basically, if you were in 81, you're going to go to 86. The 87s didn't really have anyone, so they're going to be at 86. Mm-hmm. And the supers aren't going to cut down. So Salford has just taken 3 categories and just said, this is mine now.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really good for her. It's really good. All right, let's finish off the winners then. Let's go women's side. We've already mentioned Salford. You mentioned this person's name, and I completely agree. Mihaela Kambe.
Yep.
If you're She's tall 49 and you've been lean and occasionally you compete at 55.
It's perfect, isn't it?
It's perfect. The 53 kilo category for
Definitely.
her. What's she going to hit?
She didn't look great at Europeans, did she?
No.
She was very shaky.
She's coming back from injury, she told us. She did, 93 at the Olympics? Yeah. I mean, she's going to snatch 95. 115? 210 plus.
Maybe clean jerk more.
Maybe more, yeah. Maybe more.
Some more leg strength.
It's just one of those ones where that performance that she had at the Olympics
was the best day ever, yeah.
The best day ever. It was such an outlier.
You always take those 6 for 6 days and just
and then think, okay, let's put another 5% on that. But realistically, if she can 200 is unbelievable if she hit. I think 210, she should go over 210 in this category.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Which probably won't be enough because Ri Song-gum's going to do 100, 130-ish, which is ridiculous, but probably is going to start pushing 230.
Bloody hell.
I know. I mean, you'd be happy with that, wouldn't you?
Oh, God, yeah.
Other winners then. I've put
think,
59s.
So 59s.
Basically because
not many 71s are going to cut down, basically.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. That's fair to...
Yeah, the 71s won't come down to 63, so they're going to just basically just go in a little bit heavy at 63, the 59s, and they'll be laughing. There is one person not in the 59s who really benefits, but I'm going to save that. So don't worry about that.
One person
not
in the 59s.
I'm going to save that to the end. I'll put that in my back pocket.
Who benefits from what?
I'm not going to tell you. I'll save that to the end when we're doing our most
Very
lucky and
mysterious.
unlucky athletes from this. On the men's side, we've got, 4 groups of lucky people.
Yeah.
Tall 61s.
I'm thinking Dimov there.
Oh, Ivan Dimov is so lucky.
He's been crying out for an extra few kilos.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. Although he's the kind of guy who, if you talk to him in private, probably tells you he has to work quite hard to get up to 61. He's like a skeleton, that guy. Ivan Dimov, Bulgaria. He's so tall, so skinny. Smashed it at Europeans.
Yeah.
Another 4 kilos is going to look good on him.
He's started split jerking now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And he looks so much better for it.
Yeah, so much better.
Yeah.
Crazy snatching. Even actually someone like Sergio Maceda.
Yeah.
When he comes back, because he looked good at 67 occasionally.
Yes.
He's very skinny.
Went up quite a bit.
At 61.
How do you think Hampton's going to get on now at 65?
I think it's good for him.
It's okay, isn't it?
In the sense of like his ability to lift weight will be not about how competitive he'll be, but just like being a 65 is probably quite nice. Like he used to weigh about that, and he would hit those like 180s and everything.
He'd always come down and cut quite aggressively.
Quite an aggressive cut.
Yeah.
And I mean, his training just goes to show it. Like over the last month, I feel like he's been
posting crazy videos. Yeah,
he's doubled 180 in the clean and jerk. Did he triple a 180 clean or 180
big
jerk?
Jerks off blocks as well.
Yeah,
right?
Just ridiculous numbers. So I think he'll have fun being a 65. My only concern, not just for him, but like for 61s in general,
North Korea,
is that the North Korean 67s are so outrageously good, and now they get to come down to the 65 kilo category, which realistically they'll do because they're only 2 kilos away from a new Olympic category, and they've never been in an Olympic category. Yeah. So we're talking about Ri Won-ju, who owns a world record in the clean and jerk at 190, and then Park Pyeol, who he snatched 150 at Worlds, and then he attempted 191 squat jerk and missed it. So like these guys are 150, 190 level at 67. So even if they only lose a few kilos,
they're going to be.
I mean, So Hampton's not snatching 150, but he could push into the high 130s.
Yeah, I think so.
And then low 180s.
Yeah, maybe.
He did 176, world record. He might be able to do 183, 184.
Yeah, 184.
184.
185, 186, 187.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm thinking Park Pyeol and Ri Won-ju just look so good.
Yeah.
They're just absolute freaks in the snatch and the clean and jerk. They're so aggressive. And the 61s hasn't really had a major North Korean threat. They've got Park Myung-jin, who's been good, but he's not been like Lee Fa-bin good, has he? Lee Fa-bin ran away with that 61s.
Yeah. And they're going to be training with each other every day.
Every day. And who knows how many other North Koreans. Yeah.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Any 73s that you think should or might drop down to 65 and benefit from it?
Yeah. So you got to have a short, fluffy 73, basically. I'll tell you who could go down. They're not going to want to, but they probably could. Is Gorsa Hakian.
Yeah, he was a 67.
He was a 67.
Probably a bit annoying that he's just come up to.
Yeah.
He's not fluffy though.
No, he's not. He's still
very lean.
The thing that upsets me, so you've got the 2 Turkish lifters from Turkey, Mohammed Ozbek and Yusuf Genç. Interestingly, Gench is the one who looks like he needs to go up, but actually often competes at 67. So he actually probably could go down.
He did very well in Bahrain, didn't he? He was up there with the North Koreans.
Yeah. I mean, I could believe that he could go to 65 and do 140, 178.
Yeah.
Something like that. Sort of like 315, 320.
Yeah.
Although I feel like it should be Osbeck who does it, but I don't think he will. But Osbeck could definitely lose.
Yeah, he was a lower category in Tokyo.
He would have been
60. What was it?
67.
Yeah.
67. Yeah, so it's. I mean, they're not many 73s who can go down.
No.
I mean, how much of a drop is that? 73 down to 65, 8 kilos. So that's over 10% body weight loss. I mean, I wouldn't want to be 73 dropping down to 65. Lord knows.
How about the South Koreans? Lee Sang's injured, isn't he?
Lee Sang, 65.
Yeah.
But you know what? If I'm Lee Sang, I'm just going.
He's just getting jacked anyway, isn't he?
Yeah, I'd go 71, non-Olympic.
Yeah, true.
He's not trying to go to the Olympics, is he? He gave it a little shot at the end, but
he left it very late.
And you know what? He did bloody well.
He
did really well.
Yeah.
He pushed Bark. Bark, you know what? It gets to a point where you're just a victim of this whole thing. Bark
you get pushed around, yeah.
Bark Gio's not going 79. He's not a 79. Look at him. It's ridiculous.
Look at it.
Seriously, though, Bark Gio cannot go to 79. It's just one of those things. It's like, mate, I'm sorry. You can go to 71 and you can probably win some big international medals.
Yeah.
If you want to go to the Olympics, you have to go 65. I'm sorry. It's your own. I mean, you're just not a 79. You're 5'4". You can't do it.
That's the final word on that.
Yeah, sorry about that. Got a little bit heated there. So yeah, tall 61s. Tall 61s have done well. Tall 102s. Akbar.
Yeah.
Akbar.
I'm thinking the Turkmenistan snatchers.
Hassan Bayev.
Yeah.
Hassan Bayev's done very well.
We've got to see 190 now.
We have to. You and I have both said that we don't like to see it, but it's going to happen. Is Garrett Karapetian.
Yeah.
You know, he's one of our boys. We're big fans of Garrett, but you know, he just keeps going up.
He looks all right at 102, and then when he comes in at 109, there's only one thing that looks a bit bigger.
Yeah, he's smashing the pancakes.
Yeah.
He really is. But he looked good at Europeans.
Yeah, he looks strong, to be fair.
You know, getting over 220, beating Simon.
Yeah.
And we're going to see a phenomenal, Armenian battle, I think.
Yeah.
Simon versus Garrick over this quad will be a lot of fun.
So lay out your top 5 110s. Akbar, Liu Huanhua.
I would say don't. You have to give credit where credit's due, and talk about Yevgeny Tsakantsy.
Yep.
I also think you have to talk about Dadash Bailey. You have to. At 109, he's.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, why has no one mentioned Ruslan? Uncle Russ. He just set a world record.
I thought we agreed he was done.
No. Uncle Russ is still going.
He's coming back again, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uncle Russ. Oh, you remember when we did those buy and sell?
Yeah.
Did we do that? Was it me and you?
No, I don't think we did it.
Was it
we
me
did it in the office, I think.
I did an episode.
I think you quickly sold Ruslan after Bahrain, didn't you?
I sold Ruslan because its stock was high here. Maybe I did that with someone else. Maybe I just did it on my own. I don't know. Someone said that we should do that sort of episode again, buy and sell.
Yeah.
And also, not only who is one to keep an eye on, but one who's lucked out here to some degree, Marcos Ruiz.
Yeah, he's a very tall lifter.
Spanish 102. He can do all right at 110.
He said in Moldova he's just trying to get strong.
Right.
Before Moldova, he was just squatting loads and pulling loads. He wasn't doing much snatch and clean and jerks.
He looked amazing.
Chucking a bit extra body weight on him.
Yeah.
He's a very tall guy. Extremely quick, isn't he?
Yeah, like the fastest 102 I think out there actually at the moment.
110 is going to be another exciting category actually.
Yeah.
79s and 110.
70. Oh, do you know who else is going to do very well at 110?
Give me a hint. I want to try and guess this.
The hint is he just texted me saying that the compression leggings and oversized t-shirts are perfect.
Colby.
Yeah, Colby Ferguson, Team USA. Yeah,
so he was a 109 at Bahrain, right?
Yeah, 109 at Bahrain, and he walks around like 115.
Yeah, that's a nice little.
So that's perfect for him. If I'm, to be honest,
that's a great category.
I'd be worried if I was anyone in that category.
I think that's a fair shout.
When he was here the other day, April, I've got on my phone 2:30.
He's going to be up there with Akbar.
2:30. Yeah.
Liu Huanhua in the clean and jerks.
Yeah, I mean, USA needs to lobby hard to get rid of the press out rule. They would do, like, seriously.
His knockouts look better though.
Yeah, but what it was like at the Asians.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that was so brutal. It's going to be hard for these big muscly guys. So yeah, Ruslan, Akbar, Liu Huanhua.
I'm excited about this 110 category already.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be really good.
It makes that the 102s was good last time, but it's sounding better to me right now.
Yeah, this sounds exciting. Who else we got then? Who else is a winner? Tall 89s.
Your boy Carlos Nassar.
Sorry, when you say my boy,
he's your boy, isn't he?
I mean, you. As much as he's yours, as much as he's yours, I would say.
He was already on his way up.
Yeah.
To 96.
Keep your eyes peeled, by the way, because we'll be releasing those Carlos clothes at some point soon.
Put a nice little graphic picture on my little teaser of the back.
I saw that on your story today.
It will be there when this comes out. But,
very nice.
He was already on his way up to 96. He wanted to gain the weight.
He weighed in at Europeans at 93.6.
Without a cut at all.
And then they announced 94.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Is it the perfect category for him?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect because it also is just far enough away from 102
to not have any come down.
I was talking with Sergey about it on the commentary with what should Liu Huanhua do, and it's like, okay, he could go down and go against Carlos or go up and go against Akbar. He is already out total by Carlos. Carlos is coming up. He'd have to go down.
You got to go up.
He's going to get absolutely smashed by Carlos. If he goes up, he could beat Akbar.
Yeah.
He could do it. Yeah. So the thing with Akbar, though, is at 109, when he was in his peak shape, he was like a 195, 238 fella.
Yeah.
I don't ever see...
The flick of the wrist,
yeah, in that jerk, unreal. I don't ever see Liu Huanhua ever snatching over 190. No, I don't think so. And I don't know if I see him going over maybe 235. It's tough. It's very tough. Another winner in 89s is Raphael, the German. Friedrich Raphael, he's amazingly.
Been a 96, cut down to the 89s to beat.
Oh, he was a 96.
Robu.
Yeah.
So, it's a good category for him.
It's good for him. He looked really strong.
Yeah.
It's good for David Hadzi. It's good for a few of these guys.
Nagisa, it's okay for him.
Oh, yeah, Nagisa's coming out well.
Spot for him.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Because he's actually 96 even. He could have been a little bit leaner.
Yeah.
So he'll do better in that category. And then I'd say some people who are just absolutely laughing.
Yeah.
They're
giggling away.
They are at what's happened here. Are Alexei Churkin and Ri Chong Song at 81.
Yeah, I mean, Churkin came up from 73 to 81, which he competed in Bahrain.
They've
been so strong.
Yeah, those two ruled the 81s at the World Championships this year. They looked and they had an insane battle. Ri Chong Song did 166, 205. Churkin did 164, 204, 6 or 6. Right, 368, 371 totals. So they're already... And the other thing for Ri Chong Song, he weighs like 78.
Yeah.
So he's a 79 already. He's just a light 81.
Yeah.
So he is absolutely laughing. Churkin was a 73 3, so
Yep.
he's laughing. So then it comes down to, will Rizki and or Rahmat be able to beat Churkin or Ri Chong Song? I'll tell you what now, Churkin can't hang.
Churkin can't hang.
No. Because look at that, 164.204, 6 for 6, perfect day. What did Rizki do at 73?
Churkin does look like he's got
164.201.
more in the tank, though.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, you're right. I am wrong.
But
No, I'll give you that. I am
might
wrong.
be one of those lifters where, like Antropov, he looks like he's got loads in the tank, and then chuck
And
another kilo on, and it's
true. Kazakhstan's got a Worlds coming up.
Yep, I'm sure that will help.
Yeah, that's how it tends to be in the sport. So I could see Churkin.
Is he hanging now?
Yeah, he's hanging. I was
Okay,
wrong.
He's back.
I was wrong.
He's back.
Ri Chong Song fixes his knee. He's going to hit the 210 at some point. He's tried it so many times. I don't know if Rizki. That 4 will be unbelievable.
Yeah.
Rizki, Rahmat, Ri Chong Song, Churkin.
You chucking Wirfon in there in the clean jerk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
He'll be in mid 200s, low 200s.
When was the last time you watched Wirfon Wachima and you didn't feel let down? Be honest with me.
The Olympics.
I was still felt let down, except for the final clean and jerk.
I feel like he
brought it back.
I think he took what did
he hit? 198?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
That was a letdown, did you say?
No, but the performance as a whole was. Because why can't he snatch? Why can't he snatch? He's just like snatching
Maybe
like
he just
140 openers.
He needs that 79 kilo classes.
Yeah, maybe he does. But he's quite short. He's pretty short.
Yeah. I think 79 will be okay for him.
Yeah. All right, fine. Okay,
79s and 110s.
79s and 110s. On the women's side, I've always found, last quad, I found 49s, 59s, 71s unbelievably good.
Yeah.
Particularly 59s. That was probably my favorite class on the women's side. I think we're going to see the same thing where 53, 63, 77 are outrageously good. 86.
You're just looking for Salford in the 86s, aren't you? And then
I just pray that Lang Jiamei comes back.
Yeah.
China puts in a good 86.
Maybe Nacy de Homez.
Nacy comes back. Yeah. They could pick that class up.
Supers is always good on the women's side.
If it wasn't at Asians, should have been.
No, but I mean a lot of.
Yeah, I know. They're just tired, weren't they?
There's only 200 lifters, isn't it?
Yeah, there are only 5 women.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
5 women.
In the plus 87s.
Yeah.
All right, I think we should talk about who are the most lucky and unlucky athletes altogether.
Okay.
And do you want to start with the unluckiest?
I think.
I've written a few down.
Okay. I think the unluckiest is Ri Song-gom.
Yeah, okay. 49, Ri
I
Song-gom.
think
yeah.
so.
I think she can still do it. I was thinking about putting her down because she just owned the 49s. It was too easy.
Yeah.
It's going to be harder for sure. I've got 2. I've got Yusuf Genç. Because what's he going to do? 79? Or 65? He has to go to the Olympics. He's missed out twice now.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you do? Are you going to starve him or are you going to feed him? Because you're going to have to force feed him.
I think he might go down, mightn't he?
Oh, my God.
And then does Ozbek follow him back down and then they battle it out again?
Oh, no.
And then...
I mean, Ozbek can't go to 79, can he?
That would be 3 Olympics for Ozbek. And
He would look so round. He'd be spherical.
They should... And then you've got
They should send him down and send Genç up.
You've got Khan Karim from Turkey as well, who is very good.
He is very good, but he would either go down or stay at 71.
He's 67, right?
Yeah. He'll probably just go to 67.
Imagine
65.
if all 3 of them go to 65.
I'd be so annoyed. I mean, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's probably good. That'll be a good watch.
Yeah. And then I also picked, I know we're not supposed to pick more than one, but I have. And I've picked 3 winners, so it's my show. I've picked Lo Shifang, China's 59 kilo Olympic champion. And I'll give you my reason.
Okay, I'm interested.
So she was queen of the 59s.
Yeah.
Except that she had... who's a 59 kilo actual world record holder who just couldn't go because she's from Kim Il-gyong. Kim Il-gyong couldn't go to the Olympics because was from North Korea.
Yeah.
But next time she can.
Yep.
So, hear me out. Lo Shifang is a loser because she's got to go up from 59 to 63.
Right.
Where she's going to face my biggest winner, who I mentioned earlier, who I stuck in my back pocket, Ri Suk.
Nice.
Is one of the biggest winners.
Yeah.
She's a non-Olympic 64 kilo demolition legend. Yeah. And all she has to do now is go 63, lose a kilo, and she's a 149 clean and jerker. She has lucked out.
Yeah, big time.
She's like, she might be the most obvious Olympic champion right now, other than Carlos.
Do you want me to message Sky Sports? And
let them know. Yeah, let them know. I think Ri Suk has smashed it there.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
She's one of my 3. I've got 3 winners. She's the first.
All right, give us your second then.
I think I've probably got the same as you. Akbar.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect category for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
It makes Liu Huanhua less competitive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an obvious winner there. Yeah.
I think basically the heaviest that the IWF will ever take the non-super category favours him increasingly. Yeah. Like 115 would be even better. 120 would be even better. Just like until it starts attracting supers.
Who else would that benefit? Simone, maybe?
Yeah, Simone, 115. I mean, Simone did 250 at super. Yeah. So did Akbar. Isn't it a shame that we never really saw Akbar go super? Do you remember he did that Islamic competition? He did 205.
He
came to Colombia and he didn't lift.
He didn't come out of the back room, did he?
He was in the back room.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't lift.
Yeah, that was a shame.
What did Lasher do there?
That was start of the downfall, wasn't it?
He did. So that was after Tirana, where he'd been injured. I reckon he did 220, 252 or something like that. You know what? Let's just look.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just nice to see how close you get. Probably. 2022, 215. Oh, he missed 220, 251, 266.
Missed his opener clean and jerk.
Yeah. Missed his opener clean and jerk. Oh, that's when he was on gas and air, wasn't he? Yeah. In the back room.
And they were just like pulling his t-shirt at his...
They were just pumping oxygen into him. Yeah. Did you have another winner?
I can pick another winner.
My other winner was Ri Chong-song.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the 81s.
I think you could give it to Carlos, but it feels like...
Carlos is already a winner.
Yeah, he can go wherever he wants, really. So
for these winners, I'm looking at who was not a winner, who now is.
Yeah.
And I think Ri Chong-song, he could never make 73. He was stuck in a non-Olympic. Now he's a winner. And he could win the Olympics. I don't know if he will, but he could. It's definitely possible.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That was good.
Yeah, that was fun. All right, I think we're going to wrap that one up then. We appreciate you all tuning in. If you have any different opinions on which categories have done well versus poorly, or even which athletes have lucked out that we haven't mentioned or that have been absolutely mogged that we haven't mentioned, then send us in some answers. You can follow me at Seb Ostrovich on Instagram. You can follow Nick, where he posts a lot of behind the scenes on products that are coming out, Mr. Head of Product himself, at Nick Weightlifting House? WLHOUSE?
I think so.
WH?
WLHOUSE, I think it is.
Nick WLHOUSE on Instagram. Yeah. And also, help me give him a new title for the podcast. Is he the People's Head of Product? Is he the Weightlifters Pundit? I mean, this man has predicted more C-session athletes become A-session athletes than anyone else ever has, so he knows his stuff. All right, that's going to be it from us. We appreciate you tuning in. Tell your friends and family about the show, and we'll catch you all on the next episode of the Weightlifting House podcast.